Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Katrie and today I'm going to be showing you my quarterly reading wrap-up. Hi guys, so I know I am a little late on this. I've seen a lot of people do it and I was trying to get together all my stuff for it, so I'm late, but I will try to have the rest of the quarters on time. But this is my first quarter little wrap-up and statistic chart. So this is from my reading from January to March. So April is not included in this, that'll be in the next one. Okay, so first I'm going to start out with reading you some of my stats for the month from January to March, the first quarter. And from January to March, I read a total of 18 books. 14 of those were fiction and 4 were nonfiction. Of those 14 fiction, the genres that I read were 3 middle grade, 7 romance, 2 classics, 1 manga, and 1 fantasy. And I read a total of 4,144 pages also, which I think that's wow. I read 14 physical books, 3 ebooks, and 1 audiobook. The audiobook was only an hour and 40 minutes long, so I do not have a lot of hours accumulated for audio. When it comes to the length of my books, I had 9 books that were under 300 pages, 3 books that were under 200 pages, 3 books that were between 300 and 500 pages, and then 2 books over 500. I also have a little romance trope challenge that I wrote down in my personal reading journal, and there's 9 of those for the entire year that I want to get through. And I filled 1 from January to March, and that was the friends to lovers trope and I filled this with the book Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. All right guys, so those are the majority of my stats. I love seeing stats and graphs and stuff like that. I also thought it would be fun to answer a few little questions about my first quarter, so I'm gonna go ahead and go through some of that. The first question I have here is my favorite book of the quarter. My favorite book of the quarter was Spy Family Volume 1. It was the only book that I gave 5 stars to in this entire time. I really enjoyed it, and I'm really excited to read the second one. Right, and then the second question is worst book of the quarter, and with that I went with Never Ever Getting Back Together. I think this is by Phoebe McLeod. This was an ebook I got that is a romance, and I really did not like it. It was definitely the worst one that I read in the first quarter. All right, and then question number 3 is a book that surprised you the most. For this one, I went with The Ruins of Gorlin. This is the first book in the Ranger's Apprentice series. This is by John Flanagan, and this was a book club read for me, and I honestly wasn't sure if I was gonna like it. I'm not the biggest fan of fantasy, but I ended up liking this a lot more than I thought. So this definitely surprised me with how much I liked it, how invested I got, how quickly I got invested in the story, and I'm really excited to continue on with the series too. So definitely my biggest surprise of the first quarter of 2024 so far. All right, and question number 4 is the book that disappointed you the most. I didn't want to say one that I'd already said, so for this one I went with The Importance of Being Earnest by Oscar Wilde. I didn't not like this book. It was decent, it was a little funny, but I felt like I was just expecting more out of this, and it was just very much not what I was expecting, and it was kind of disappointing. I kind of just left it oh, okay, that wasn't as great as I thought it was gonna be, so yeah. All right, and then question number 5 is your favorite new character from a book. And for this, I'm going with Dante from Edmond Dantes from The Count of Monte Cristo. Oh my gosh, such a good book, and I love him. He was fantastic. If you haven't read it, you really should. The next one is your least favorite character. I wasn't really sure what to go with this. I kind of went back and forth on a few people, but I think I landed on The Fangs of Dane. Just all of them in general, they're just such awful, hideous creatures, and yeah, they're definitely my least favorite, but yeah. So this was from the Wing Feather saga. They're pretty nasty characters, so. All right, and then number 7 is the fastest read, and for this one I went with The Cupcake Cottage. This is by Jean Oram. I really love this. This was when I read an ebook, and I read it really, really fast, like in one sitting fast. Oh my goodness, it was so good though. I really enjoyed this one. I think I gave this like a 4 or 4.25 or something stars. So really liked that one. All right, and then question number 8 was my slowest read. Now this was The Count of Monte Cristo. It took me the longest to read, but that's just because it's a massive book and it's classic literature. That did not mean in any way that this was like a least favorite or anything like that. It was just slow for me to read. So, all right. And then number 9 is your favorite cover of the books you read. And I think I'm gonna go with Dungeons and Drama because I specifically got this. Well, I got it because my husband used to play D&D and I used to be in theater. And so like it intrigued me instantly, but also this cover. I don't know why, but I just think this is an adorable cover and I love the pink. I love it so much. And even the back has like the little dice. Look how cute. So this was definitely my favorite. All right, and then question number 10 is your least favorite cover. I wasn't quite sure what to do for this because I was like, well, I feel like the nonfictions don't really count as much, you know, than the fiction. So I just went off my fictions and I went with Loving the Ladies Man. This is an ebook that I read by Kristen Canary. Just because there's nothing particularly wrong with this cover and I didn't hate it. There was like no covers that I just hated, but it just didn't draw me as much as my other covers and I didn't like love it or like it as much as my other covers. So I went with that one. All right guys, so that is just a quick little quarterly reading wrap up, like update. I hope your first quarter was great. I'm sorry this is late again. I will get the second quarter up on time. That'll be what, June, end of June. So yeah, so you can expect that. I want to try to stick with these. I like hearing the statistics of every quarter and stuff like that. So I'd love to hear if you guys like to do your statistics too. You are more than welcome to share them with me down below. I would love to hear them. And I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye guys.